Hello, Paul in the UK. I know we've discussed extensively the intake manifold and exhaust manifold going up against the seating against the aluminum cylinder head on the 190 SL. But I thought another video and some more visuals might help explain the situation. As you know, we've got a common attaching point right here where you've got the two halves, and then right in between them is a thick washer that presses on both the aluminum and the cast iron. It's hard to visualize here on the tabletop, but this thick washer applies pressure to both the aluminum and the cast iron. Now the problem that one will experience is that the extreme pressure of this thick washer against the aluminum will actually make the aluminum get thinner, and at the same time the pressure on the cast iron does nothing to change the thickness of the cast iron. So the cast iron stays thick, and this washer is firm up against the cast iron, but this aluminum is now thinned out, and the washer is not applying enough pressure on the aluminum to seal the intake gasket, and you get vacuum leaks down here between the intake manifold and the cylinder head. And my fix, instead of taking everything apart and machining the aluminum or welding it up or whatever, my fix is to take a little half-moon washer and just put it right down here underneath the thick washer, and you put the half moon right here, and you can almost see the contact area where a half moon would go, and then that takes up the difference. And well, we already know that you've got an issue and got a leak, so you don't have to do all this work. But when these things come apart, what we'll do is we'll take our micrometer and we'll measure the thickness here to get a reading. It's 592, and then take a measurement here and see what we've got. And this one's 598. So the difference is not that great, but you can see that there is a difference already. And the way we can tell that there's enough of a difference is you're going to read where the gasket rested against and made contact against the cylinder head and the intake manifold. And so what we're doing is reading the gasket. So over on this side, you see how this is all shiny metal all around here except for this point right here. See, we had some no, it's not shiny, so there's no contact right there with this gasket. And over here it's even more dramatic. Shiny, shiny, and then you can see how dark it is right here. There was no contact. That gasket was not under full compression, and that we were getting a leak right there, vacuum leak. And that's what my fix is designed to do, to put extra compression on the aluminum portion of it and compress the intake and exhaust manifold gasket, which, as I mentioned to you earlier, is a full gasket, goes all the way across both manifolds. Now then, in terms of the thick washer, you have two washers. They're stacked on top of attaching your intake manifold, and this is an original right here, and I'm not sure why they got this bevel, which is really cool. Anyway, we take an extra thick metric washer and put on the lathe and turn it down to the OD to match here, because you have very specific size area where this washer is going to go. It fits very specifically in that recess right there. So this is just a standard thick metric washer that has been ground down, machined down to this dimension, and that's why I suggest the thick washer, because it's designed to carry the load as opposed to two thin washers. Let's see. I hope that explains it enough. Let's see. Maybe if I got a gasket, I'll show you a gasket real quick. Okay. All right. Sorry for the delay. Yes, I had a gasket here, and this is what the gasket looks like. It's gonna flip around, but this is up against the timing chain tensioner. This is the rear of the engine. This is just reversed inside the package. But that's why if you want to replace this gasket, you've got to pull the exhaust completely away from the studs on the cylinder head so you can install the gasket. It is not, and I don't know if, and so that's how it's supposed to be installed. I've never heard of anybody cutting it and putting it in sections. I just don't know if that'd work or not. But anyway, that's the gasket. I hope this video helped.